Hello, church family. Welcome back to our reflections on the Psalms. And today we are at Psalm 8. What a wonderful psalm, Psalm 8. It begins with those famous words, O Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth. And that's how the psalm ends in verse 9. O Lord, how majestic is thy name in all the earth. And in between those bookends is a celebration of creation and a celebration of human beings who are at the center of creation as stewards and shepherds of God's good earth and of God's good universe. There are some questions that Psalm 8 addresses. Is the world and the universe and all the diversity of the created order a product of blind, random, and non-personal forces of chance? Or is it the majestic handiwork of a wise, generous, good, and great Creator? Are human beings simply biological material drifting through a meaningless cosmos to a meaningless conclusion? Or are human beings the image bearers of the one true and living God, who have a wonderful destiny, who have an intrinsic dignity, and who have been given by God an incredible stewardship to direct creation alongside God as His Spirit-empowered and wisdom-led people, to direct creation to its appointed ends, to become co-creators with the Creator Himself. Psalm 8 is incredibly positive in its praise of God and in its thanksgiving for creation, which is the work of God and not simply an accident in the middle of the cosmos, so to speak. You know, the biblical vision is not one that is opposed to or in contradiction to the scientific vision. It's not anti-science. To be a person of faith does not mean you have to be a person who's not also pro-science. So, I'll share these words from a scientist, Francis Collins, who is the former director of the National Institute of Health and the Human Genome Project, and who wrote a beautiful book on this subject, The Language of God. And here's a quote from him. Quote, "If you see God as the creator of the universe in all of its amazing complexity, diversity, and awesome beauty, then science, which is of course a means of exploring nature, also becomes a means of exploring God's creative abilities. And so for me, as a scientist who is also a religious believer, research activities that look like science can also be thought of as opportunities for worship." End quote. The poet Elizabeth Barrett Browning put it this way: "Earth crammed full with heaven, and every common bush ablaze with God. But only he who sees takes off his shoes. The rest sit around and pluck blackberries. O Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth." Take time to read Psalm 7, and in your prayers give thanks to God for the beauty of creation and for the way in which it points us to the Creator Himself. And ponder the significance of our place as God's image bearers and stewards in the midst of God's world. I hope this is an encouraging reflection for you, and I look forward to the next time we're able to be together. Take care, and thanks for joining me.